Well, the results are in from NXT Vengeance Day.
Well, that's right. The champ is back. I got my vengeance. Welcome to TFS Pod, always the most love you show podcast. This 24/7 Lou, and that's
my God. This is going to be a third year in a row. Why?
Goldie's back. Yes, folks, so let me tell you something. From the highest mountain to the lowest valley and everywhere in between, we are the beast of the East, the best in the West. You are listening to TFS Pod, your girlfriends, your pets, your friends' favorite show. This episode is dedicated to...
Right now, here's the shout out. Shout out to a classic. This one goes out to Jill Kelly.
Okay, gotta look that up. Yes, folks, in this episode we will be talking about...
Whoa. Where's the soundbite? Where's the soundbite, Lou?
I love it. You guys are so great.
Yeah, thank you, Jill. Thank you.
Yes, I have to look that up. Yes, folks, in this episode, we will be talking about NXT Vengeance Day. We're doing a recap of it, the fallout of what happened on that episode, on that premium live event. That they went on the road, they went to Charlotte to have that show, and of course, big crowd there. I don't know if they set it up for the audience, for the cameras, but a lot of people were there, and I enjoyed it. It reminded me of the takeovers, right? So before we get to any of that stuff, since One Man Band is out on a special assignment, I'll have to say this line. Rick Hard, get the scoreboard!
On the one hand, the scoreboard's really simple to remember.
Easy.
On the other hand, it's not fun to remember. But here we go. With your recently gained point at NXT Vengeance Day, Lou, you are in the lead at 3 points. Followed by, and I can't believe I'm saying this, in second place, Bogey at 2 points. And in third place, we have the one-man band at 1 point.
I know he's making his way. He's making his way up. I know it.
Yeah. And everyone else is at 0, including me.
Oh.
That's the scoreboard. Back to you,
Oh,
Lou.
why are you saying that?
I gotta hype myself up somehow so that I can change that line to including the randomizer, or including Big Al. But first, I gotta get out of the 0 mark.
Yeah, you gotta get a victory out of here. Come on.
We're on the second month of the year, and I'm still at 0. Like this is a race. The flare gun has already been fired, or the pistol's already been fired for all the runners to start running.
Yeah.
Like you started running, one man band started running, Bogey started running, and then tripped over like a rock or something. And I'm still in the thing, like trying to figure out. I don't know. I guess I had my noise canceling headphones. Like, I'm looking around, like, what's everybody else running? I gotta get in gear. Get in gear.
Look, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know that, because even last year there was a point where I was off and running, going ahead, and then I just hit a wall, and then you came back and you actually took the lead.
That's what happens. I always slowly but surely start gaining momentum, and then just boom! I don't know. I guess somebody comes out of nowhere. I guess you have one of your hired goons come out with like a tire iron and just like take out me at one of my kneecaps, and then you just like jog the rest of the way through while everyone else is half the track behind you.
Yep. Oh, look, all I can say is that I know that for the following few next month we're going to have a few things that may slow me down. I need to improve my AEW record. I need to improve my Impact record. and I need to improve my other company records. So keep on WE making shows, please. So yeah, but yeah, in this episode again, we'll be talking about NXT Vengeance Day. It was on a Saturday, I believe the 4th it was. Yeah, it was the 4th. Let's talk about the first match that kicked off the show, which was Wes Lee versus Dijak. Everyone had picked Wes Lee on this one. Did you see this? Did you watch this match?
Yeah, I actually did. I came in watching it at around, I think, 5 minutes in, but I caught the majority of it. I liked this match was actually the second longest match of the night, right behind the 2 out of 3 falls match.
Really?
Yes, second longest match of the night, and what a freaking match! Honestly, if it wasn't for the 4-way tag match, I think this is a strong contender for match of the year. By the way, I mean match of the night.
Yeah,
match of the year. Honestly, we had a lot of near falls in this match. A lot of near falls.
Now I gotta say about this one, Wes Lee versus Dijak, the height difference it was there. The size difference was there.
The size difference, all of that, and they played perfectly with it. Wes Lee is normally a high flyer, and Dijak is just a beat 'em up, like overwhelming force kind of guy, and you can see that in the dynamic. I mean, at one point, Dijak just hit one heck of a clothesline.
Oh.
And then that other move where he does the spin and then boots you in the face.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I said, "Oh my gosh, is that it?" And then Wes Lee kicked out, and I said,
"Yeah,
what?
Oh my God, yeah, this was, yeah."
A lot of close falls.
So
a lot of close falls. I believe at one point, one of them hit a poison Rana off the top rope. Mm-hmm. Not off the top rope, but reversed it. I think from the middle rope.
There was a lot of moves in there that I thought, oh man, check on that man's neck. Check on his head.
There was a lot of stuff. That boot in particular just looked like it would have kicked Wes Lee's head into the front row.
Mm-hmm. So
it was just, oh my gosh.
Now again, my
amazing match.
I mentioned one thing here. My prediction, folks, were telling me like, yeah, this one, he has to. Wes Lee, he's alone. You know, before he was part of what is it?
Part of a tag team.
Yeah, it's part of a tag team, which his partner got in trouble, so he was out. But he had the championship, the North American title, and he had to like, I don't know. I guess my people were telling me he had to prove himself. I guess for this one, but he did, and it was a tall task against Dijak, and yeah, it was a fun match.
Oh yeah, no. Props to Wes Lee. He's made the transition from tag team, competitor to singles competition very smoothly.
Oh, this is what I want to say. I was getting the vibes of like Daniel Bryan. I was getting vibes of Daniel Bryan.
I don't know about that.
No, well, in the sense of how it's a shorter guy against a bigger guy, and he has to try to do all these different moves to try to knock the bigger opponent down. And he keeps on trying, and he keeps on struggling and trying and trying. He gets a pin, near fall, and he keeps on trying and trying. That's how I felt like what I was watching here.
I mean, it told the story. It told a really compelling story in the ring. Match was phenomenal. I think it was just a matter of nobody, even though it would have, if Dijak would have won, nobody would have batted an eye and said, "Oh, I don't believe this." It would have been believable. Mm-hmm. But it was such a pots and pans match where everybody was like, "Yeah, Wes Lee's retaining," just because it's way too recently that Wes Lee won it.
Yeah, that too.
And
apparently the next pay-per-view is the one before WrestleMania. Before WrestleMania, the next pay-per-view for NXT. So
stand and deliver.
Yeah, on that weekend. I guess we'll have like a Saturday matinee.
Yeah, it's taking place. It's taking place on Saturday or before night one, just like last year, I believe. But tremendous match by Wes Lee. Way to go. Way to go.
Yep.
And everybody got a point on this one too, which is my favorite kind of match sometimes.
Then we had the next matchup, which was Katana Chance and Kayden Carter versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James, where we have a new tag team champion.
New Chance, who stole it, by the way, and I'm pretty sure that if the ref had caught it, he wouldn't have counted the pin. Not only because the other one was pinning, I believe it was Kiana James's feet that got pinned to the mat.
Oh yeah. A little bit of help,
but the legs, I'm pretty sure her feet were below the bottom rope, so that should have been a rope break nonetheless. That said, ref didn't see it. Classic heel moves. I liked the match. I just find it. I don't know. There's something weird about it where we're in this phase in wrestling where like guys can't get involved with like doing any moves on the chicks, but the chicks can. Like there was a point in the match where I believe it was Kiana James or Katana Chance rolled out and kind of like one of the guys on the outside who was managing Fallon Henley's team.
I think it was Brooks. It's Jensen and Brooks, I believe, there.
Jensen and Brooks. One of them got like by I think it was Kiana James got there like.
Yeah, because apparently there's something there between them.
There was some love triangle or something angle. All I know is it was one of those things where I'm like, hey, the guys are like, they're supposed to be heels. Why aren't they trying to do anything where they actually get involved? This was all won by just the female wrestlers in this one. So even though they're heels, kind of feels like they were legit heels, and they won by sneaky means. But boy, were the guys just out there for like just to be there. They didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I thought was odd. I thought we'd at least get a spot where they distract the ref, but kind of sets it up for a rematch. A rematch at Stand and Deliver, probably.
Yeah. Also, in our predictions battle, I picked them, you picked them, and so did the randomizer. So in that one, we took a point, all three of us there, and went ahead.
Yeah.
That's the one where I was saying, like, I remember for the predictions battle, I was predicting a lot of title changes, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute, I gotta stop. I'm going crazy on title changes here. Hold on a minute."
Yeah, I predicted a lot of title changes, to be honest, also.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that I know that Stand Deliver is the next one, good thing I didn't go crazy on it. That's how I feel.
I just figured they mix it up.
All right, so
on this before Stand Deliver.
All right, so let's go to the next. The next matchup was Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes in a 2 out of 3 falls.
2 out of 3 falls match, otherwise known as a 2 falls match. In this case, because we never reached the 3rd fall. There was a clean sweep.
By the way, the match was boring to me in the beginning. This match was really boring. Which I thought
longest match of the night, and yes, also there was parts of it where I was just so here's what I thought they'd go with, because about at the halfway point nobody gets a pinfall and Trick Williams for some reason pulls out a chair from under the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was so sure, okay, so Trick Williams, if he gets the first pinfall, right? Gets the first pinfall, he has a 1-point lead over Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is going to start getting a comeback. It looks like Apollo Crews is going to win the match by hitting a finisher, and then Trick Williams comes out of nowhere, hits Apollo Crews with the chair. Anybody thinking, won't he get DQ'd? Yes. Carmelo Hayes gets DQ'd. He takes the loss, but he loses the point that he would have lost anyways via pinfall. Mm-hmm. Now he's fresh, and Apollo Crews took more damage. And then you set up the thing where, Carmelo Hayes then gets the pin over, hits his finisher on. Carmelo Hayes hits his finisher on Apollo Crews after the chair shot. 1-1 score.
Mm-hmm.
Quick pin. Apollo Crews loses 2-1. But boy, he doesn't lose credibility, This was, now don't get me wrong, there was still shenanigans. We could talk about the finish of the second fall. But, boy, does Apollo Crews look like a scrub.
Huh. Now, you see, for me, again, the match was boring in the beginning. But then I thought, okay, I'll let it play out. I'll let it play out because they're doing the storytelling. And yes, you have to have it where at least the competitors, at least to the last match, have to go through the task of having to try to get that victory, right? So I thought, okay, they're trying to build up this match, but yeah, it upset me when Carmelo Hayes won the first one. What? He won the second one? It's over? No way. I don't know. I feel like something was rushed on time. I think I don't know if that I don't have any.
No. I thinking on it with the way the show ends, I can see why they ended it so decisively. I think it was merely just we want there to be no Apollo Crews in the title feud going into Stand and Deliver.
Okay.
More on that when we talk about the main event match.
Yeah.
But I think they just wanted a Carmelo Hayes to score a solid win. And even in NXT, One Man Man's not here to say I told you so, but because this was the match that put him back in contention.
Yeah, because he was
he was I believe he was the only one. Let me check. Let me double check. Yeah, that's the sound. That's the sound. He was the only one who went Carmelo Hayes. Everybody else went Apollo Crews.
Ooh, I don't have that sound.
And this is what put One Man Band back on the score. And if he were here, he'd probably be saying "I told you so" right now.
Yeah, at this point, the scoreboard, our scoreboard was reading 2 for me, 2 for the One Man Band, 2 for you, 1 for main event Jeff, and 2 for the randomizer.
Yeah, this was not a good night for Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if you saw him afterwards and reminded him that randomizer scored more points than him.
No, I wouldn't do that to him. Come on.
I will.
You're doing it right now on the show. Yeah.
Yes, there you go, man. Jeff. The randomizer, scored more points. And early on, they took a lead.
All right. Let's next match. Which most match of the night? I'm going to say this right now. Match of the night.
Yeah, the Fatal 4-Way.
Match has another thing of the night.
Tag team.
We'll get to that. Fatal 4-Way tag team. Very, very fun match. Props to the spot that I never thought I would see in a multi-man match. There was a spot. It came close to the end. Not too close to the end, but definitely after the halfway point of the match. Where, first off, the team that nobody was cheering for, again, in this Fatal 4-Way, Pretty Deadly.
Well, let's mention the names. Let's mention the names first before we get to that. The participants were Gallus, Pretty Deadly, New Day, the champs, and Chase U. Those were the
Chase University.
Yep.
And the match basically started with Pretty Deadly getting the beating from every other team.
Mm-hmm.
Up until they tagged out. Then you started seeing like some back and forth there. For a match where the New Day was involved, they actually spent very little time doing a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the outside spots. They didn't do too much of that. But after that part, you had the spot where the announce table gets like this. The top of the announce table gets taken off. They take off the screens.
Oh yeah.
And Gallus, I believe it was going to put not Andre Chase, but Duke Hudson. They were going to put Duke Hudson through the table.
Yeah.
Duke Hudson fights back. He fights back. He breaks out of it. There's some more back and forth. Then Pretty Deadly takes down Duke Hudson.
Yeah.
And then it's the craziest spot, most hilarious spot I've ever seen in one of these matches. They put the table cover back on, put the screen back on, like they dust off the screen, they put it back on the table. They're like, no, we're not doing this spot. And the audience, it's just like, boo.
We wanted that.
Completely ruined it, which was such good, subverting expectations there. Bravo to Pretty Deadly. I became a fan that night. I was like, all right, you know what, guys? All the heelish stuff really, really got to me. I'm actually liking their team now. The British version of Billy and Chuck. You got me. You got me with that one. Very, very creative heel spot. And talking about creative spots on the face side, Chase University, Andre Chase, hometown favorites for this, by the way. I still stand by this. The wrong team won,
Oh,
not just because of the points, but wrong team won. But Chase University was super over. Down from the stomping, so they were gonna do a super kick, give some sweet shit music. Then the stomping where they actually go CHASEU. What does that spell? Chase you. They should have won. They should have won, but they got tagged out. It came down to I believe it was New Day and Gallus. And then Gallus got the win with the finish.
and that gave me the point. Yes.
Yep, that was pretty much the deciding point. Aside from the main event, where I went with a very, very bold pick. But this was sealed the night for you. I still say match of the night. I said it when we were watching live in the chat, and as soon as I said, "Oh man, this is match of the night," doesn't matter who wins. Gallus won like 2 seconds later, and I was like, "Damn it!" But great match, amazing match.
Yeah, it was. Woo! It was. The crowd was into it. Of course, it was hometown favorite. Chase U was there. They had their Chase U section.
Yes. Yeah, you had a whole section with the signs and stuff. I was like, "What is this? Is amazing."
Yep, and yeah. So yeah, that's how we have new tag team champs. Gallus, which I had called it. I had felt that New Day's time was up with WrestleMania around the corner. They appeared at the Rumble. New Day's time was up as champs. They were not going to retain. I thought it was like, okay, we showed up. Now we're out of here. And I did comment. I don't know if you noticed this, but I did find comments of Shawn Michaels post Vengeance press conference, where he said, yeah, that there was an invitation to the New Day, and he's glad they came up. They came over to NXT for a while, and yeah, anytime they want to come back, they're invited. I mean, they don't.
Oh, they're not coming back, maybe.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he said it at least. So,
okay.
So yeah, it's
pretty. Yeah.
And then I felt that because of the story that was going on with Gallus trying to get that championship, and what they had to do to get to there. That's why I went with Gallus. That's why I chose him. But all right, let's go to the.
We go with some hometown favorites, but just like the Rumble, didn't work out.
Yep. Let's go with our next matchup, which was the triple threat match for the women's NXT Championship, which had Roxanne, Perez, Gigi Dolin, and Jacy Jayne in this one.
2/3 of Toxic Attraction, which, by the way, I kind of alluded to this earlier. If last match was match of the night, Gigi Dolin and Jacy Jayne win entrance of the night. You could tell, and as we saw on NXT this week, it looks like it's pretty much the end for Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end of this match. We'll mention
it. But essentially, what an entrance! Entrance of the night goes out to Gigi Dolin and Jacy Jayne. They did it, and you could tell. And there was a part of me that said, "Yeah, this is going to be the last time those two do that entrance together," because Jacy Jayne was really, really going above and beyond with that entrance. Gigi Dolin too, to be honest. They what an attire.
Wait, was this the match you went with peer pressure and you won?
Yes. So I actually was inclined to say that one of Toxic Attraction would win it. And for some reason I was leaning Jacy Jayne, only because Jacy Jayne kept being the one to hit Gigi Dolin by accident with these. And Gigi Dolin's a face. So I was thinking to myself, I don't know why, even while I was watching the match, I kept thinking to myself that this was going to be one of those, Steve Austin versus the Brothers of Destruction in a triple threat match, where the finish is, they do the double choke. In that match, for those who weren't aware, it was a title match. It was Taker and Kane. They both do a double choke slam on Austin after, disagreeing on who would get the pin. And then they just both pin Austin and win the match. So they're both, champions, and then Vince runs off with it screw you, Austin. But there was a spot where they both went to pin Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, wow. We're kicked out. And I was like, oh, okay. If there was a moment for that spot, that was it. It didn't happen. But I like that they alluded to it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we got this nice spot where Gigi Dolin told Jacy to get the tables.
Oh, yes.
They put a table at ringside. They went for a top rope spot. Ultimately, Roxanne Perez managed to knock Gigi Dolin onto the table to the outside. Got the pin on Jayne after doing a top rope move. I forget what it was. It was something.
What is it? Rocks Pop?
Pop rocks from the top rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
yes.
another move.
Okay. So yeah, which is basically a sunset flip powerbomb. There we go. Mm-hmm. They did that spot, and boom, champ retains. And then you didn't want me to put the wagon before the horse here, but we had a nice, well, not very nice actually. Gigi Dolin and Jayne were on Ding Dong Hello with Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey was.
And reminiscent of a certain tag team breaking up back in the 90s. I believe it was the Rockers.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty. We had Jayne super kick Gigi Dolin and then try to throw her through the door.
Yeah.
All it was missing was Bobby the Brain Heenan saying, "Look at that, Gigi Dolin trying to run out through the door on Jayne."
So yeah, we see a breakup of Toxic Attraction, a final piece broken apart.
The breakup that breaks my heart. Toxic Attraction.
It's very sad.
I'm going to be rewatching that entrance from Vengeance Day several times over.
Only fans can understand what we feel.
That's good. That's really good.
Yes, man. The end of Toxic Attraction, but a start of a big rivalry now.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting rivalry to stand and deliver. Could be match of the night if they play the cards right.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that was the fifth match of the night, and then we have the final match, which is Bron Breakker versus Grayson Waller in a steel cage match.
So I want to say flat out, by the time this match came around, Lou, you had a lead, and essentially no one had a chance to beat you aside from me tying with you. Basically.
Oh yeah. By the end of the end of the last match, I had 4 points. The one-man band had 3. You had 3. Main event, Jeff had 2, and the randomizer had 3 points at the end of the previous match.
Yeah. So by the time this match came around, the only person that had a chance was me tying you, right?
Yeah.
You were going to walk away with a point and the World Championship, but I was going to walk away with a point also if I would have gotten my guy winning, which was Grayson Waller.
Wait, hold on. Also, too.
Here,
wait, hold on. Before we start, when the show started, they mentioned you only win the title by pin or submission, not getting out of the ring. So that was announced at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. So I went into this thinking, okay, cage match. If you can have escape from the cage, that's easily a way that Grayson Waller can win the title without making Bron Breakker look bad. But once they eliminated that stipulation, and I didn't find out at the beginning of the show because I tuned in 5 minutes after the first bell.
Mm.
I found out when the main event came, and I kept looking at so many spots where I was shouting at my TV going, "What are you doing, Waller? Forget your pride. Just win by escaping the cage."
Yeah.
And then you had to tell me, and then the commentary team said it, you can't win by escaping the cage. And I said, no.
Yep.
Because I knew once they said that, I said, oh, it's over. It's over. I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe in Grayson Waller. He put up a heck of a fight. Great booking in terms of how it was booked.
Yeah.
Because you had him fighting to the bitter end. They told him end it with Bron Breakker by the time match was close to finish. And Breakker went from one of those rebound off the ropes multiple times to spear. But yeah, once that was it, boom. Bron Breakker retains. Lou, you got your win for the night. And as I alluded to before, it all comes back to that Carmelo Hayes match. Carmelo Hayes came out, and that looks like it's going to be the road to stand and deliver. Carmelo Hayes versus Bron Breakker. Now that Carmelo Hayes has Apollo Crews in his rearview mirror, Apollo Crews has some business to deal with the guy who beat him up after his match with Carmelo Hayes, Davikato. So everybody's got a dance partner going into Stand and Deliver.
Okay, so I also have some notes here. I also have some notes from the press conference of Shawn Michaels did. It was an audio press conference apparently that I have to share with everyone. So some of the questions were asked about what's the potential of NXT touring weekly, and Shawn Michaels said they were hoping for that one day, especially if they could have the results that they had tonight in terms of live crowd and reactions in Charlotte. He said they exceeded expectations. He loved it, but there's a lot of bean counters who have to analyze things. He thinks it will be a bit before they're touring live events outside of Florida. So that there's that. And then now talking about that Grayson Waller, because we do have an update on that as well. Let me see here. It says here where they ran an angle where Grayson Waller confronted Michaels about not being his guy, which Michaels said it was in a relation to an incident that happened at the gorilla position. Michaels said that he loves Waller, but he's not different in real life versus on camera. So, also, too, I have to report also, Michaels was asked about the obvious Grayson Waller versus Bron Breakker match at the Stand and Deliver, and that has been in the works. Michaels said that there's a difference between thinking about it and putting it on paper. But you see these two guys in the PC, and you think they're pretty special. He said that they've been the lead stallions, so you try to keep them separate from each other, and then a year later you realize that it's a big match. Which, yeah, we've had that big build-up with Grayson Waller and Bron Breakker, which you were thinking too, like, hey, I think this is the guy that may actually defeat Bron Breakker.
I thought they'd do something similar to Dolph Ziggler. They even alluded to Dolph Ziggler during the match. I was like, Grayson Waller wins here, and then maybe Bron Breakker, you tease it. It's just like Dolph Ziggler. Grayson Waller is going to lose it at Stand and Deliver back to Bron Breakker, or the Raw after Stand and Deliver.
Yep.
But no, none of that. That was all just red herrings.
Yeah, again, and then now, before the show, I had learned that the NXT show, the one they had on Tuesday, that Grayson Waller was suspended for his actions of bumping into Michaels. So that happened also. So yeah, I guess they're still going with Grayson Waller.
How much of that is storytelling, and how much of that is, behind the scenes stuff that we weren't really supposed to know. I mean, the fact that Michaels is talking about it, kind of on the nose, Sean.
Here's what I have that came out. It said WWE has announced that Grayson Waller has been suspended for the high crime of barging in on Shawn Michaels during the post-Vengeance media call. And in the tweet, it was breaking due to his actions during the Vengeance Day media call. Grayson Waller has been suspended for 1 week. So,
Sounds like storytelling to me. Could we be seeing Grayson Waller versus Shawn Michaels at NXT Stand and Deliver? I highly doubt it, because Shawn did not come back at San Antonio at the Rumble. You let me down, Shawn. Don't come back at Stand and Deliver now. I don't want to hear it. That'll just be insult to injury. If he comes back, but not to his hometown.
Well, he could win. Remember, you don't win in your hometown if you're in WWE.
I know. I wasn't expecting him to win the Rumble.
Oh, that too.
Just come out.
So maybe one day you'll have your vengeance on my victory.
You know it's coming, Lou. You know it's coming. Coming at Elimination Chamber.